Hi guys, Rex here. Update 2.4 is right around the corner, and with it, we are getting a new event, a new battle pass, UI changes, balance changes, and what you're probably all the most excited for, the Return of DeSalle, which is the final map to return to the game after the engine upgrade in August. In this video, I will break down all the biggest changes and updates and bring you up to speed. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Oi! You over there! Are you subscribed to the channel?
This dude, what is he doing down there? Let me show him how it's done.
What is she holding? Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Let's start with the new event, the Judgement of the Fool. 1.1. The Hideout. The Judgement of the Fool event features a brand new hideout location that can be found on each map. The hideout features a tower that offers excellent sniping opportunity, and within the basement, you'll find various unique rewards that can be unlocked for pledge marks. Some of these rewards are probably familiar to you from previous events, while others are brand new to this event. Within the hideout, you'll find the following. A single sealed bounty token, a full restoration kit, which fully restores your health chunks, a trait wager spur, which allows you to spend one pledge mark in exchange for a random regular trait. This trait spur can be interacted with multiple times. Next up, you'll find a master clue that reveals all boss locations, as well as all event exclusive sealed scarce traits. With this event, those traits are Catalyst for 1 pledge mark, Corpse Seer for 2 pledge marks, and Gunrunner for 3 pledge marks. Gunrunner, like previous events, allows you to run 2 3-slot weapons at once, while Corpse Seer grants a second of Dark Side boost when you loot hunters without the need for carrying a bounty. Additionally, the hideout will also always feature the sealed rewards that most of you probably know well from previous events, which can also be found randomly at supply points, arsenals, and watchtowers. A 4-shot boon, which grants all small shot effects, including a small vitality shot, regeneration shot, antidote shot, and stamina shot. An experience boon that grants 2000 hunter experience. A dark side boon that grants a second of dark side boosts. A sealed cash register granting between 250 and 1000 hunt dollars. And finally, a sealed ammo and toolbox that fully restores your ammo and tool charges. 1.2. The Catalyst trait. Catalyst is a brand new trait to this event, which amplifies certain other traits you have acquired through a conditional effect. Beast Face with Catalyst ensures you never trigger animals. Pain Sense will show low stamina enemies in Darkside. Vigilant will show traps in Darkside up to 50 meters away instead of 25. Kite Skin will ensure you never die to fall damage, while Lethal Falls will leave you with just 1 health. Frontiersman grants a solo effect where carry tools can be used 2 additional times. And finally, Fanning will allow you to fan 2 slot pistols, namely the Haymaker, Nagant Precision, Nagant Deadeye, Scottfield Precision, Uppercut Precision, and Uppercut Deadeye. This should open up some very unique and interesting opportunities. 1.3. Pledge Marks. Pledge marks are returned into the game as per usual, and are capped to a total of 6 marks. As with previous events, you can loot pledge marks from downed hunters, and if you reach your cap of 6 marks, any remaining pledge marks will be left in the body for others to loot. Pledge marks are acquired in the following ways. You gain 1 pledge mark for every 25 event points collected. 2 pledge marks will be acquired when you banish the boss target in Bounty Clash. And finally, 3 pledge marks are acquired if you become the Soul Survivor in the Soul Survivor game mode. 1.4. Weekly challenges and event duration. This event will last much longer than previous events, starting June 18th and ending September 17th, which means it'll be on for a full 3 months. This means you have a lot more time to complete the event at your own pace, and as such, the weekly challenges now grant a bit less points than before to compensate for the much longer event duration. 1.5. Battle Pass and new hunters. As per usual, this event brings a new Battle Pass featuring various unique weapon skins, hunters, and weapon animations. In this Battle Pass, we are seeing the 2 main characters of the event, the Fool and the Judge, unlocked as you progress. The full Outlaw is unlocked at level 0. while the full Fugitive is unlocked at level 19. And finally, the Pale Judge is acquired upon reaching Battle Pass level 38. Additionally, 2 new Bloodbound Hunters have been added with this update. Dorothy Alice Dream and Dorothy Alice Nightmare, both of which can be purchased for 1,000 Bloodbounds. Now that we have covered the event mechanics, let's get into some of the gunplay and gameplay updates coming with patch 2.4. 2.1. Damage Modifiers. With this update, we are seeing some changes to damage modifiers and drop-off range. Hunter body damage multipliers have been increased slightly for torso, arms, and legs, which means you'll deal more damage to less critical body parts in all ranges. Upper torso damage remains the same as before. I will leave a link to the patch notes in the description as soon as it's available if you want the specifics. 2.2. Bullet damage drop-off. We're seeing some changes to how damage drop-off and minimum damage works for various weapons. This gets rather complicated, so I'll save you all the details, but again, please refer to the patch notes if you want the specifics. Here's what you need to know. Compact ammo weapons start losing damage at 20 meters distance, medium at 30 meters distance, and long ammo at 40 meters distance. Most weapons have a minimum and sometimes maximum damage dealt to specific body parts for balance purposes. In short, this ensures strong weapons remain strong on distance, and that weak weapons are still somewhat viable even on long range. FMJ ammo still extends the damage drop-off range by 10 meters on top of the defaults as I covered earlier, but now retains damage slightly better over distance. Spitzer ammo, similar to FMJ, now retains damage a bit better over distance as well. 2.3. Silencer changes. With the last update, all silencers received a 10% damage reduction, likely in an attempt to control the Krag silencer meta. While this update was great for the Krag, it severely impaired the weaker silenced weapons that didn't need its nerf. With this update, compact and medium ammo silencer reduction has been changed to just 5%, while the modifier remains 10% for long ammo rifles. On a side note, since most weapons now have a minimum damage output on range, this is technically a double buff to the weaker silenced rifles, as they will deal more damage on distance as well. 2.4. Burn mechanic changes. Burning mechanics are seeing some pretty drastic changes with this update, as 2 burn speeds are introduced: fast burn and slow burn. Downed hunters now burn faster if they are within a fire volume, for example from a lantern, firebomb, or ignited oil patch. Bodies will also be fast burning upon ignition from any source for 5 seconds, but will then enter slow burn mode for the remainder. This means you could, for example, continuously reignite a body with a flare pistol or fuses to speed up the process. Fast burning speed is equal to the burn speed prior to this update, which means burning will generally take a bit longer than before, unless fire volumes are applied to speed up the process. This should make firebombs and lanterns a lot more useful than before. Slow burning is 45% slower than fast burning. With these burn changes, we're also seeing a very interesting change to bodies submerged in water, as they can now be burnt by fire volumes at a very slow speed. This should make the liquid firebomb extremely valuable going forward. Finally, we are seeing some interesting changes to the self-skin trait to accommodate the burn changes. Self-skin no longer affects burn speed whilst down. Instead, it will have a bigger effect when alive, as it keeps burning to medium intensity and shortens the extinguish time to 3 seconds. It also retains the global fire damage reduction, including burn speed. 2.5. Trap changes. Trapping is now more viable than ever, as this update brings some pretty interesting utility changes. Disarming a trap that you have equipped in your tool slots will now replenish the slot instead of leaving the trap on the ground. This means you can bring your traps with you from one location to another with ease. If you have full charges or don't have the trap type equipped, it will drop to the ground as before and can be manually picked up. New prompts have been added to show what will happen when you interact with a trap. Somewhat trap-related, Dark Dynamite Satchel's warning sound volume has been significantly reduced, which should make them much more viable than before. 2.6. Ammo swap boxes. Ammo swap boxes now allow resupply of multiple ammo types, and the full list can be found in the patch notes. 2.7. Dark Side and Beetle changes. Active interactions in the dark side are now activated by mouse 1 or triggers by default. We are also seeing pretty huge changes to Beetles, as they can now use the Remedy and Serpent traits. While Beetles cannot pick up bounty tokens this way, this does allow you to take less risk when picking up clues throughout your games. what's way more significant in my opinion is the remedy effect, as you'll now be able to send out a Beetle to safely restore your team's health if you're pinned in a bad spot or don't want to take the risk of leaving the compound. 2.8. Extraction points. With this update, a new compass icon has been added to indicate extraction points within 150 meters. Additionally, extraction point icons have been updated. Now that we've covered the most important gunplay and gameplay updates, let's dive into some of the meta changes that this update introduces. 3.1. Quality of life changes and traits. With this update, we're seeing some long requested quality of life changes. When extracting with a bounty, all health chunks will now be restored. When picking up items in the world, the prompt will now show the name of the item instead of the applied skin. This is a huge change, especially for beginners, as you will be able to much more reliably recognize the various weapons you find on dead hunters, instead of being confused by the long list of unique skins. The fast fingers trait has been brought back to 4 trait points, which should make it a lot more worthwhile than before. A much needed change if you ask me. 3.2. Bounty clash changes. The Bounty Clash mode now has its own matchmaking rating that is no longer tied to Bounty Hunt or Soul Survivor MMR. This MMR will initially copy your Bounty Hunt MMR and then calibrate further from there. 3 new compounds have been added to Clash from the returning map DeSalle, namely Lower DeSalle, Fort Bolden, and First Testimonial Church. Great choices of compounds this time, Crytek, although it pains me to not see Pelican Island Prison on this list. On a bright note, O'Donovan Stone is returning to the Clash pool again, which I'm very happy to hear. This was one of my favorites, and honestly I never understood why it was removed in the first place. Its spawn and extraction points have been adjusted with the re-implementation. Blackthorn Stockyard has been removed from Clash based on community feedback, which is fine. Now please remove Windy Run and add Fort Karmic instead. I'll do anything. Anything! Finally, Reynard Mill and Lumber, Deadfall Timber, and East Mountain Corn have had their spawn points adjusted. 3.3. Audio changes. This update introduces a long list of audio changes. This, once again, gets a little complex, so I'll spare you the details, but please refer to the patch notes if you want the specifics. Here are the main changes you need to know about. Overall, audio has been improved to increase clarity, especially when multiple audio sources are playing at once, which has often led to important audio cues drowning in less important ambient sound. Vertical audio has been improved, as we now have distinct audio differences between upstairs and downstairs audio, as well as multiple new audio types for specific surfaces such as wood, fabric, hollow metal, and rock. The audio changes should now be heard from outside buildings as well, allowing you to more accurately determine the position of enemy players. In general, footsteps above you should now sound more direct with more bass, while footsteps below you should sound more sharp and hollow. Finally, various weapons and environmental sounds has been adjusted for more clarity and less audio clutter. 3.4. UI changes. Several changes and improvements have been made to the UI with this update. All the details are covered in the patch notes, but here are what I consider to be the most significant changes. The loadout screen has been reworked with a vertical layout that now allows you to display both your current equipment and the loadout next to each other. Up to 10 loadout slots are now visible without the need for scrolling, which should make it a lot easier to find what you're looking for. The in-game pause menu has been improved, as you can now see your own and your team's loadouts directly for easier access mid-game, and this should also reflect changes to loadouts throughout the games. Some reopening might be required for this to work properly, but Crytek is working on a fix for this. Additionally, health bar status for the entire team is now visible in this menu to give you a better overview of the overall health of your team. In general, a lot of the UI has been simplified and optimized for easier use and accessibility. 3.5. NPC Changes. Several changes have been made to NPCs with this update, and 2 new types have been added. For new accounts up to Bloodline rank 11, you'll now see Hunter bots roaming the maps. This change has been made to ensure a better onboarding experience for brand new players before they are thrown into actual player lobbies. These spots will only be available if all players within the team are lower than level 11. The Ursa Mortis from Post Malone's Murder Circus returns in the form of the Brute, an AI bear that roams forest areas between compounds. Multiple brutes can be found in the same match. Whilst it is very similar, this AI type is a bit weaker than the previous Ursa Mortis and can drop traits similar to meatheads. Hellborn and Rotjaw now both despawn when killed instead of leaving a corpse on the ground. Additionally, poison damage is now more effective against Rotjaw than before. Several fixes have been implemented to various AI behavior to make it smoother and more consistent, and monster damage handling has been improved to ensure you more reliably kill monsters as expected. 4.0. The Return of DeSalle. And now for the most exciting update overall, which I'm sure you've all been waiting for. The return of the map DeSalle, now reworked and improved. This updated map features extensive terrain and vegetation improvements, as well as detail and lighting improvements on all compounds. Several gameplay and layout changes have been made to various compounds to improve the overall experience. In general, we are seeing more accessibility for various compounds such as new entry points, additional ladders and windows, as well as brand new or reworked buildings within existing compounds. The reworked DeSalle map also features brand new iterations of existing times of day that are unique to this map. While I could cover all the details of the reworked DeSalle map in this video, I'll do you one better. At the time of posting this video, I have also posted a brand new full walkthrough of the reworked DeSalle map, where I go through every compound and discuss the biggest changes so you can see it all for yourself. So make sure you check that video out after watching this one. I'll leave a link in the description. As we wrap up this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and a comment if you found it helpful. We put a lot of time and effort into creating these update summaries, and by hitting that thumbs up, sharing your thoughts and subscribing to the channel, you're not only showing us that our work matters, you're also making sure you don't miss any future updates. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the bayou.